Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I was just laying here and just about to start my video, and it dawned on me, oh, it's not having the bed up against the window. I'm not getting that glare anymore. I don't have to close it, and I can still look out and see, and so on and so forth. Yeah, kind of nice. I know. And I got my little girl right here next to me. Yeah, she's just like, Mommy, don't pick on me. She's doing a lot better. A lot better. Yeah, she ate all her food yesterday, and including her frisky treats. Still got some drainage in her eyes. I don't know, I'll think about it, but if it keeps up, I might start her on some Benadryl. Yeah, I'm not too sure. We are supposed to be getting up into the 60s, or I think we got into the 60s yesterday. It didn't feel like it. It was different, with moisture in the air, I think, and we still have some snow on the ground. And then, of course, we have all the moisture from the snow melting. So, I don't know, it didn't feel like it. It was kind of weird. I didn't go for my walk or do my yoga yesterday, excuse me, but I did have to go down to the store. And I still need to bundle up a little bit. The sun was setting. But it just felt a little bit different. So, still a little bit of a nip in the air, basically. It's not like out there where it's dry, and when it starts to warm up, it starts warming up. Today, I was seeing that we are supposed to possibly tickle with 70. We are breaking records. Of course, I move to someplace and we start breaking records. Why not? But yeah, I was seeing last night that with the Twin Cities weather forecast that we might be tickling 70 today. So we'll see. I still, it's like upper 30s right now, and I'm still seeing people walking around with kind of bundled up and so forth. So anywho, really took it easy yesterday. I felt, this one here, I know I was going to do my yoga, go for my walk, but she was looking for food. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to get her breakfast and so forth. And I just kind of chilled yesterday. I don't know. I've been in that funk, and I think it's a few things that are going on at the same time. And yesterday, I kept having this song going over and over and over in my head, and I'm just like, oh, would you please stop? And then last night, I had some thoughts go through my head, and I'm like, okay, so, and it was kind of in relation to somebody that I know, and like, I was kind of wondering if maybe some activities that they were going through or whatever, that it's like, it could be a little bit on the dangerous side, I guess you could say, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I think I need to just send a message of a little ass chewing, basically. Be careful, in other words. So, yeah, it was just so weird when I did that. Poof! Song got out of my head, the funk went away, and I'm just like, oh, finally. Yeah, it's about time. Gosh, it's been driving me nuts. Actually, for a few days. That damn song going through my head for a few days. It was getting louder and louder, and I'm like, oh gosh, please. So, but yeah, that was nice. So hopefully, didn't hear from them or anything, but that's okay. Hopefully they received the message, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, just be careful, okay? So, anywho, but yeah, this one here, she is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and definitely feeling a lot better. Had the window open for a little bit yesterday, had the window open overnight even. So yeah, she's feeling a lot better. But yeah, yesterday with myself, I just wanted to spend the day with her. I didn't really want to be bothered by anybody. I really didn't want to have conversations or anything. Just relaxed, chilled out. Didn't really do much of anything. I did finish getting the resume retyped and put into onto a Google Doc up there on my Drive account. And it was a good thing I did it, because there at the last minute I remembered there was a change that I was going to make, and I'm like, oops, forgot about that, and quickly made that change. So we're good to go. Settled on a brand, on how I want to proceed, and it really does, because I didn't want. On the one hand, I didn't want to be too professional, but at the same point, I don't want to be, how do I put it? I don't want to say too much of a creative. You know, I don't want to, I want to be somewhere in between, you know, that stuffiness and the creative side. But I also want it to represent me a little bit more. And I think I have decided the direction that I want to go, especially since I want to possibly get a position with Llewellyn. If that doesn't happen, then something that will take me in the direction that I want to go with my life. My spirituality, of course, is very important to me. So I definitely want to incorporate that. The direction that I want to go with, I don't know how else to put it, but, you know, like the country lifestyle or whatever, I very much would like to be able to incorporate that in my professional life. I want that all around, you know. You know, I've had the professional career as a graphic designer where I dealt with the stuffiness, and it was very stifling. I realize you're going to have that no matter what, but I don't want it. I don't want it to the extent that with what I was dealing with before. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, you know, and the CD. I know, big time throwback there. You know, I've been down that road. I want to be in more of that casual, relaxed atmosphere that I have seen with some graphic design agencies and so forth. So whether it's, and I don't know where that's going to land me or whatever, but that's the sort of image that I really want to portray. And so I can find that demographic, basically. Have those be like my clients. Yeah, of course, you know, you have that professionalism and so forth that is coming in, but I don't want to repeat what I dealt with out there. And unfortunately, each place that I've worked in, it was just, I got burned out. I really did. So I'm in hopes that and I've come across some ads, one in particular, I got it, I felt the energy big time. But I would go for it anyway, because who knows, you know, it could be wrong or whatever, or it may not be so bad, or if it will help get me to where I would want to go. But I'm not going to rush anything either, just to go after a job or whatever. I don't want to go down that road, just to rush to, you know, wind up pretty much right back where I started, basically repeating that same pattern. I don't want that. I realize there's no perfect scenario or whatever. Even with trying to do something on your own, you're still going to run into that. You're still going to run into, differing personalities and so forth. People, different expectations that people have and everything. I get all of that. But I know what sort of patterns that I'm looking to avoid. And I don't want to take a job just because, Don't get me wrong. Yeah, right now I need a job. But I'm talking, and I'm looking, and I've got my fingers crossed that tomorrow will work out the way that I'm hoping. But I'm talking about the more, with the graphic design situation. I don't want to repeat those patterns. Before, with graduating, I felt like that I was under the gun to start working in that field and so on and so forth. And, getting that experience, putting the degree to use, so on and so forth. But and basically look where it got me. I don't want to wind up in that same situation again. And unfortunately, I found even since then, with looking at other jobs and so forth, it was like the same things all over again, with the exception of maybe one I wouldn't have minded going for out there. But of course, I didn't have a portfolio or anything. But with it this time, I want to take my time. I mean, let's face it, I haven't really done anything with it in several years either. And of course, don't get me wrong, I don't want to, have even more of that time lapse coming in either. But at the same point, I don't want to fall. I know I keep repeating that same thing over and over again. Basically, it boils down to I don't want to fall into those repeat patterns. I'd like to have a position that I can enjoy. What's the point of, I've been in the rat race situation, basically, and it's not my cup of tea. Maybe some people it is, and I mean, yeah, it was exciting or whatever, hobnobbing with those sorts of corporate brands and everything, but yeah, total burnout too. So I like to have something where I can enjoy it for a change, basically. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And I know that as things progress, as I build my brand, build my portfolio, redo my resume, all that, it'll happen. The right job, the right position, I'll be getting myself closer to that right position that I'm looking for. And then I can build myself up in that way, and I have the other job in the meantime to sustain and to help pay for the things that I know that I'm going to need to be able to get that job that I really want. So that's the way that I'm looking at things, and yeah, that's what I would prefer the route that I would prefer to do. Even if maybe by chance it doesn't happen, if people wind up looking at me, oh, you haven't been in it for a while, or this or that, at least I would have more of a portfolio that I can promote myself and maybe get the sorts of clients that I would prefer to have. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's what I really wanted to work for a publishing company, but another option was to do the freelance work. Unfortunately, of course, a lot has changed out there, excuse me, over the years. Now people have those options, with Canva and Shopify and so forth to be able to do things, and Squarespace, be able to do things on their own. But how many of those have actually been successful because of a lack of professionalism, not doing things the proper way? They basically doing what I did, more or less, rushing into things, and then things fall apart. That happens a lot, unfortunately, especially when it comes to startups. But at the same point, there's a few of the startups that actually do make it. So, and that's the sort of clients that you really want. So, but anywho, I don't know. I'm just playing it. I'm going with the flow right now. Not entirely too sure where I'm going with anything. I've taken it all one step at a time. And I know that's part of what has helped me with my healing process. I am really... Oh, some sort of birdies flying overhead. Migratory birds. Bigger ones. I couldn't tell if they were geese or maybe cormorants by the outline. It looked like maybe cormorants, to be honest. It's been a little bit, since I've seen them fly overhead, because I haven't been living close to bodies of water. We did have them out there, but I didn't live close to any sort of bodies of water to see them fly over quite frequently. Geese, definitely, and ducks every once in a while, but not too much cormorants. And I didn't have the proper glasses on. These are my close-up glasses, what I call my dorky medicated glasses. I'd like to get rid of these at some point. But anywho, so yeah, yesterday I figured that out. I figured out that what direction I want to be able to go with my brand. And I'm excited about it. I'm very excited about it. Before, the brand that I had, I always felt a little depressed about it because there were elements with it that did have me holding back to the past or whatever. But this is one where it's going to take me more to the future with the direction I want to go. So I'm excited about that. And just relaxed yesterday. Did a little bit of sewing. I did dig into my backpack, and because I have this plate. Basically, it's a Navajo sand painting of Monument Valley, their own rendition, and I wanted to set that up because I'd been having it sitting on the desk over here. And I'm like, no, I just would like to be able to set that up and display it. So I knew I had the plate stand in my backpack, went in there, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I remembered there was a couple of other things, these little placard or whatever sayings that my mom had bought me over the years, and I knew I had brought them with me. I knew I didn't throw them out or anything. But I'm like, what did I do with them? Did they wind up in that paperwork I wound up leaving behind or what? And then I found them. I'm like, there they are. So that was nice reading those again. Maybe I'll type them up and post them up there on the YouTube channel or basically all the social media channels. It would be nice to repost for everybody. And it has the author's name, so I can make sure oops, sorry about that, folks, requote the original author. So anyway, yeah, those are really nice. I know I see some drainage in her eye. I might have to start her on some Benadryl. I know she doesn't like it, but it's better than dealing with the achy allergies. But yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of drainage there. We'll see. Probably from me having the window open last night. Um, but yeah, and I found some other things. I found my deck of playing cards that I've had for over 20 years. And actually you don't have to have a tarot deck to do a reading. You can just use a regular deck of playing cards. They are related to each other. They are cousins, and you just don't have the major arcana. That's the only thing. But yeah, I played a little bit of cards yesterday, a little bit of solitaire until I won a game, and it's like, okay, now what? And then I had my sewing box yelling at me. It's like, you've been bitching that you haven't been able to do some sewing in a while. And now you're bored and you're not doing some sewing. So, okay. So I broke that out and started doing some sewing. So that was kind of nice. I was just feeling very, very much in a funk and a little bit restless yesterday until late last night when I had that, I guess, epiphany moment. I need to chew a friend's ass out, basically. Because they're up to no good. It's like, yeah, no, okay. At least you got your warning, and it's up to you now. Yeah, whatever. So, but yeah, I didn't even cook yet last night. I should have, but that's okay. I will probably skip my yoga and so forth again, just so I can cook. I have like a little bit of food down there, but I really need to make those tacos. And it takes a while, and I don't want to go through everything and wind up having a low sugar or something like that, and I don't have anything to eat to help cover it. So I'd much rather go ahead and just cook up those tacos, and then I have the food to eat, and I can go to that interview tomorrow. I'm actually excited about it, and I really am, getting back into a normal routine, instead of doing all of the ride-sharing stuff and so forth. Gets to be exhausting, and I didn't want to be behind the wheel at all whatsoever anymore. I had looked at, like doing the Amazon deliveries, where they supply you the truck, or, basically courier service. I mean, there's a ton of them. I think what I've seen out there as far as courier service was concerned are basically Amazon fleet trucks. I think that's what I was seeing, because it was the same advertisements over and over and over again. And it's the same thing with the delivering of the packages, of same amounts, it's like somewhere between 200 and 300 packages a day and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just like, and some of them actually had said that they are basically an Amazon courier service. So I think that's what I was seeing out there as far as those. But they were putting themselves under some sort of an LLC or whatever, basically franchisee sort of situation. So, and there's that I was seeing out there as far as job postings were concerned. And then there was also the courier service, like through auto parts stores, delivering parts to different mechanic shops and so forth. And then you double up doing customer service in store. I started putting in an application, at least for that, because I do have one right over here. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I didn't want anything to do with a car. And I haven't. And it's not because of the weather situation, because the roads are clear now. There's the snow that's out there is just, like on the grass or whatever. But I just plain flat out, I don't want to be behind the wheel unless it's going to and from work, going to and from a grocery store, things like that, normal, everyday sort of stuff. I don't want to be behind a wheel anymore. Plain and simple. I just don't want to do it. I can't bring myself up to doing it anymore. I'm burned out. just like what I went through with the graphic design, only that was shorter amount of time. I'm more, I don't want to say I'm more settled. I just plain flat out don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. Do want to get a car at some point. Don't get me wrong. And who knows with the settlement money that am, I know that is still coming at some point from that class action suit. No idea. I mean, that's been, 4 years in the making. And we're supposed to be in the dispersal stage. Yesterday was the 30 days. But unfortunately, I think it was yesterday, today, it's the 30 days. But, they have to get that 30-day window for anybody to dispute. So, and of course, I have no idea how many people are involved or anything. So, I don't know. I'll see here in the next few days if I get any more notifications. But it was a nice little chunk of change that could be used, at least partially, to go towards a down payment for a car or something. So, but all in good time. Personally, I'd much rather take that money and put it away. That's what I would much rather do. And that's why, fingers crossed, that things work out with this job tomorrow, because the pay is pretty nice, So, and with what I'd be doing, I know that I would have opportunities for some commissions as well. Basically, I'd be selling appliances, and, you've usually got those warranties that, those in-store warranties. So you have those opportunities for those commissions. So, yeah, I would definitely want to, but even without that, the pay is nice. That would just be a nice little extra bonus or whatever. So, and the nice bonus that I would be getting already is having a set schedule. It's not a retail situation where your schedule changes every single week. I will admit, I was not looking forward to that, like with the part-time positions. This is one where I was shocked, actually, when they gave it to me. Well, first full-time, and then it's a set schedule. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't mind that. That's what I'm looking for. And then pay is nice, too. I'm like, and it's starting pay. I'm like, okay, yeah, this would be kind of nice, And it's shocking to me, even with the temperatures warming up and still a little bit of a nip in the air. But I will admit, because our temperatures are supposed to be dropping for tomorrow, I think we're only supposed to see a high of 48. And yeah, with the storm, I don't want to call it a storm, I guess it's some sort of pressure system or whatever, maybe it's going to pass us by. I have no idea what's going on. I haven't really looked at the weather pattern with what it is that's supposed to be dropping our temperatures, bringing in the warmer air and so forth. But yeah, I feel it a little bit in my chest with it flaring up a little bit. It's not that bad, not compared to what I was dealing with, where it was just felt like someone jabbing me with an ice pick on a constant basis. Haven't felt that since I've gotten here, since everything has calmed down and everything. Of course, yes, I know I still have the stress of going back to work and all that sort of stuff. But I haven't been feeling it, which is nice. So, I mean, personally, I would love to work in the garden center. I would love that situation. I mean, gosh, that would be awesome, Working with all, of course, and then I'd have to deal with all the temptations and everything. Yeah. But just that would be awesome. I would love that. But, of course, I wouldn't have the opportunities for the warranty sales. Oh, excuse me. But we'll see. It's not something else to talk about tomorrow. Then again, I know a lot of times with those warranty sales, they do put some pressure on you where you have to do so many a month or whatever. So we'll see how it all pans out. May wind up being that might not be a good situation, but maybe there might be another opportunity in store that might be a little bit better. We'll see. So if they like me and everything, and I like them, the way that's the thing. And I did run into that situation when I had applied for another graphic design position out there. I was questioning it even beforehand, and I went to it, and I even asked them right out, because their portfolio was extremely different from mine, and I was like, I had to ask the question, like, why are you interested, with the huge differences in our portfolios, why are you interested in mine? And they're like, oh, well, we do, a little bit more on, but of, the type work that you do or what have you. But I'm like, but the majority of the work that you're doing is that. And it wasn't conducive with what I was doing, basically. That's what it boiled down to. I don't even think, I know the next time, there towards the end when I drove by, I didn't see their sign out there anymore, so I really questioned if they're still in business. So, yeah, I feel like when you go to a job interview, it isn't just a matter of them interviewing you. Oh, I want the job, feeling like that you are having to be compelled to work it. I feel like it's a two-way street. If you're not comfortable with it, walk away. Because there's a reason. And the reason is probably situations that I wound up running into. So, and I know that I'm in a position where I need to be taking what I can get my hands on, but I need to get myself at that point where I can be like, hey, this is a two-way street. I don't have to take this job. That's the position that you really want yourself to be in. So, yeah, right. Mommy, why are you picking on me? Yeah. All right. Yep, I know my time has run over. So, anywho, thanks for letting me rant and so forth. Talk things out. I really do appreciate it. And I will talk at you later. I love you guys.